Huzzah, and welcome to the convening of the Senate, where you, as a legion, must come together and decide who will be the first person sent to the Colosseum to have to fight to the death. But before we begin, let's discuss some things. Let's start with you, Minor. Minor, you lost this competition by 3 points. Tell me, what happened?
Um, we just didn't get the last one we needed. Um, which is not, which sucks because we were close, um, but life, work, and everything come first. But we all communicated and talked, and then people did what they wanted to do. Um, and then we all did our best. It sucks that we were so close, but just the other tribe.
Dime, Minor mentioned communication. This challenge was built on communication. Do you feel that everybody did their best to communicate what they could and could not do?
Yes, I think the spreadsheet that was made, the Google spreadsheet that was made, really helped throughout to keep track of things and to not overlap. I think everybody did a great job communicating what they couldn't do, switching when needed to, because there was a time where I couldn't even fulfill mine and I had to switch a couple times. So I think we did well with that. It was just a matter of getting them on. We just couldn't, which is understandable.
Billy, this is the opening weekend of the game. We know we have a long way to go and a long run ahead of us. What is the process for how these things start? How do you handle opening weekend?
Just talk to as many people as you can, try and get to know people, specifically people you haven't been able to play with before, and also people that you may have already seen in this community. It's always good to start fresh and always start to, new soil. And that's all I like to say. Just kind of just talk to people, see where the vibes are, and kind of just start from the ground up. Just start a new civilization, as one would say.
Eric, Billy mentioned different connections and starting on new soil. Do you feel that coming into this game, does there seem to be more heavily connected individuals, or do you think it's a lot of independent people?
I mean, I think we only have one person is their first game, and then we have someone I think has only played a few. So like, there's a lot of people in this game I think that have played like, obviously a lot of games that you've either seen in the community or maybe you've stumbled across and played a game with as long as you've been in the community. So I mean, obviously in every game, the connections obviously mean something in some people's eyes and mean nothing in others. So it depends on how you perceive it. It depends on how you play and interact with it too.
Juan, let's talk about pacing. In your opinion, what would you say the pace of this game has been so far?
Um, I mean, obviously everything changed like once we lost the immunity challenge. So it's like, the first couple of days, like during the challenge, we are all focused on getting to know each other, me and your new tribe mates, making sure the challenges got done. But then as soon as like the ball drops and you're like, oh shit, we're going to tribal, I think it picks up. So and it's like that the pacing of the game is like hard to dictate because anything could happen at any second and things can change. But I think it's on track for a tribe that's going to the first tribal. Like a lot of us were busy last night. We found out a lot of us had work today, and then I feel like in the last 2 hours or so, people were like, "Oh, we have to go to this thing in like an hour. So what is going on?" So it's been a little bit all over the place since the beginning, but that's what happens when tides change from meeting each other to going to the first tribal.
Parker, does that track for you? Things picked up the pace like no other this last hour.
Yeah, I definitely saw some uptick in activity, kind of hearing from people that I haven't heard from, from the beginning of the game. Uh, just kind of, it's kind of new for me, so it's interesting to kind of just see how in the last hour how things can really just change and kind of pick up speed.
Sean, what do you feel needs to happen with this Legion to be successful going forward?
That's a good question. I mean, I feel like everyone here pulled their weight at some capacity. Um, I don't know. Communication, maybe? I don't know. That's my answer.
So, Vicky, is it come down to challenge or does it come down to communication?
Honestly, for right now, it comes down to communication because I feel like if you can communicate correctly or communicate adequately with your tribe and everything, I think we're all basically just wanting to get better and wanting to help people that we can help out in any way, shape, or form. So it's more, for me at least, it's more about communication than like challenge prowess and everything.
Minor, do you feel like this is a tribe that is united, or will we walk away tonight divided? Allegiant, my apologies.
Sorry, I was eating. Anything could happen. Because you never know what the vote is until it's done. But you hope, since this is the first one, that we're all united moving forward. And then for this and moving forward, because you want to keep the good vibes going. Because a tribe that gets along pretty well works really well together in the challenges, and in the beginning stages, that's what you're trying, that you kind of need, like you want to work well together, um even though this is Survivor.
Dime, is that what this vote is about for you? About a way to make it to where this Legion is working well together going forward? You're muted.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I feel like you in the beginning, like unity is like really important. You have to figure out who you can line up with, who can contribute to challenges. You can see like who you can possibly work with moving forward. So I feel like in the beginning, it's really important to build with people.
Eric, do you feel like enough trust has been built in this Legion to be able to make a fair decision tonight?
Is the question still on me?
No, I moved to Eric now.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not know it was a question for me. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said, do you feel like enough trust has been built with this Legion to be able to make an informed decision tonight?
I think trust is built after the voting process usually, so we'll see. I have no clue what's gonna happen. So yeah.
Billy, let's go back to opening night. Opening night, there was a clue that was given to everybody for the hidden idol. Has there been talks about the hidden idol? Is the hidden idol out there?
I don't know, you tell me. The problem is it's hidden for a reason. Like if you're able to find a hidden immunity idol on day one, whatever, power to you. But personally, besides looking through Discord, maybe I haven't put too much thought into it. Hidden immunity idols are overrated and make people paranoid. I would rather not have one.
What's your take on that, Juan? Is it too early to begin idol hunting, or is Billy right? They're overrated.
As Tarzan says, the game is afoot. So like when that clue dropped, I wouldn't doubt people to start looking forward. Personally, shit like that stresses me out. It gives me headaches because I don't like clues, I don't like puzzles, I don't like riddles. But like I said, I wouldn't doubt if people have been looking. Like it's part of the game. So
Sean, Juan mentioned stress. What's the most stressful thing about this game for you?
The entire game, everything, people, emotions, challenges. Yeah.
Parker, is it that stressful? Are we that overwhelmed? It's day 4.
I think, trying to just maintain relationships with people can be kind of stressful. I think we all have our lives going on outside of the game. So I think it can be hard to try and manage your time in between, communicating with your tribe, and trying to do whatever else you need to do on top of real life.
All right. My last question for you, Vicky. You know that the person that receives the most votes tonight is not completely out of the game. They will have a chance to go to the Colosseum to fight to the death. Does that change how tonight's vote could go, or any vote going forward?
I'm gonna be so honest. If you get voted out and you come back, more power to you. But then you really need to take a hard look at your game and actually figure out if you coming back, if you're even gonna have an opening, I guess. So I'm gonna take it as a if it happens and the person that comes back, congratulations. But I don't really consider that a thing. That's
Right. And with that, as a Senate, you will now decide who is going to be the first to enter into the Colosseum. Please go to your production chats now and cast your vote for who you would like to see in the Colosseum. I'm going to go off camera and mute myself. While I am away, I will be tallying the votes. You are not allowed to talk about this game or the vote, but please feel free to discuss anything else. I'll be back.
I'll give a shout out to my two lovely prod guests, that is Sebastian Cordero and Julia Rowe. Thank you so much for both of you for probably nothing, but thanks for being there, guests.
Shout out to my pride guests. Y'all are amazing, even though y'all just talk shit about me to my face.
Shout out to my podcast, Vanessa, Haley E, and Timmy. Love you all so very much, and thank you for supporting me.
Big ups to the prod.
I'll shout out my guest, Tawny. Thank you.
Shout out to Vicky's chopsticks.
I don't know how to use chopsticks, so it's fine.
It's okay. I once tried to teach myself how to use chopsticks when I was 10 years old. It took me 2 months to figure it out. I was also not very good at doing it.
Billy, are you related to Avan's refrigerators?
Stop it now. We're gonna stop this now. We don't need this. We don't need this.
Billy Vance refrigeration.
No, bad. Absolutely, that does not exist.
Also, even though Sean has sat in basically the same spot since the beginning, when we got on this Zoom, I thought someone was behind him and it kind of scared me. So
It's just my mirror.
Sometimes the scariest people are the reflections of us. Quoted by me.
All right, let's
Damn,
not get
already.
philosophical now.
Oh, that was kind of deep.
Let's not get philosophical.
That was pretty good, Billy. I giggled, not gonna lie.
All right. I have the votes. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person who received the most vote, the Senate, will have decided will enter the Colosseum first and will have a chance to fight to get back in the game or die. But before I read the votes, if anybody has a relevant idol or advantage that they would like to play, now is the time to do so. All right. I'll read the votes. Oh, and the person that receives the most votes will have a chance to speak their piece before leaving the Zoom. I'll read the votes. First vote, Eric. Dime. One vote, Eric. One vote, Dime. Eric. Eric. 3 votes, Eric. 1 vote, Dime. First person that the Senate has chosen to fight for their death in the Colosseum is Eric. Eric, that's 4. That is majority. Please speak your piece.
I don't know. I feel weird. Like no one wanted to say anything to me the whole game. Like, I don't know. I've been getting this weird silent treatment lately in games and it sucks. But yeah, I don't know what I did wrong, but I will figure it out if I come back. And if I do come back, I'm not saying I'm against y'all or whatever. I'm not gonna play that whole thing, but if I do come back, it'll be fun to actually maybe play with y'all, I guess, hopefully. Sucks. Anyways, off of my reads just before I go, Billy for sure has idol off as a response to that answer. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Eric. All right. You have survived your first Senate. You will soon be given your next immunity challenge for a chance for you to redeem yourselves. Eric is not gone, though. Eric is now fighting for his life in the Colosseum. So please stay tuned.